Everyone, it's Andy and welcome back to my channel. Yes, I've got something wrong with my lip and it's a bit hard to talk, but I'm gonna make it short and just want to introduce to you the person that will be doing a tutorial today is Kelsey, and she's my new friend. She has a YouTube channel called Just So Studio. I'm gonna put it on the link. Um, I'm I'm gonna put a link in the description below. And she is very young, very inspiring, and very good with sewing. She has her own quilting business, and yeah. Um, Also, she's going to be teaching you how to make a boxed bag, and she will be introducing herself. So you guys, my video will be uploaded on her YouTube channel, so check that out. And I'm going to be teaching you there how to make a I think it's called a bento bag. It's popularly known as a bento bag, but I called it a knot bag as well. Yeah, so thank you all again for always supporting our channel, and please show your support as well to our lovely Kelsey at Just So Studio. So enjoy.
Hi everyone, my name is Kelsey and I am from the online quilt shop Just So Studio. I'm so happy to be here with you guys today on Andy's YouTube channel. I'm going to teach you how to make a boxed bag. This one is using the pattern called Bitsy Box by Badobo Bags, but today I'm going to make one of a different size and also with a different clip on the end here, so to give you a feel for different variations that you can do with similar boxed bags. A little bit about me: I owned the quilt shop Just So. We have a Facebook page at Just So Studio 1 and an Instagram account at Just So Studio if you want to go ahead and give us a follow. I do free classes, long arm quilting, lots of YouTube tutorials, and we also have a weekly sale on Facebook where we discount all of our new products. So if any of that sounds like something you'd be interested in, make sure you head over to any of our social channels to give us a follow. Let's talk about our materials. So I have here 2 1/4 yard cuts, and what I'm going to do is make a box using 9 by 12 inch cuts, but that's going to be trimmed down a little bit. And also you can make really a bag of any size using the technique I'm going to show you guys today. So you can kind of decide the size that you want to cut your fabric to, but because I'm going to cut mine to 9 by 12, a 1/4 yard cut is plenty. You could even do that out of a fat quarter if you want to. So this fabric is from the Make Time collection. Has these cute little pins and stuff. So that's the fabric. You're also going to want a zipper. I'm using a 12-inch zipper. You just want it to be longer than your shortest side. And then the interfacing I'm using is Annie's Soft and Stable. I've used this in pretty much every bag that I make. It is amazing. If you don't have any of this on hand and you like to make bags, you'll definitely want to grab a package. And then optionally, you can add a little closure to yours, or a hook to yours. So this one has a D-ring that I attached a carabiner clip to, but I'm just going to use this one this time instead. So it's a D-ring that has a clip already attached to it. So that's what I'm going to use today. You can decide what type of clip you want to put on yours, if any, or you can totally leave that step out. It's up to you. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is cut both of my fabric pieces and my shape flex to 9 by 12 inches. And then I'm going to quilt the pieces together, and then I'm going to trim it down just a little bit. before I start quilting, I'm going to lay down some plastic protection so that I can spray my interfacing on both sides with some quilt basting spray and then attach my fabric. I find that this is the easiest way to baste when using the soft and stable, but you do want to make sure you put something down underneath because otherwise it will make what is underneath sticky. So you just want to spray a little bit and then lay your fabric. And if it's slightly off in any place, that's okay because we are going to trim it, but you want to try to make it as accurate as possible. There we go. Once you're ready to quilt, you can decide any design that you want to do. On this one, I did a double line of stitching to make these diamonds. This one, I think I'm just going to do a bunch of diagonal lines, and I'm going to do that using my quilt bar on my machine. Before I get started, I always draw my first line, and then I'm going to use my quilt bar right here for the rest of my parallel lines. I just changed my thread to a matching thread color. It's 40 weight, so it'll be a little bit thicker than the thread that I usually use for piecing. And then I'm going to make my stitch length a 3.5. My standard length for my machine is a 2.5, so I'm making it one higher than my standard length. And this is because this quilting is primarily decorative, so I want the stitches to show up a little bit more, be a little bit longer, and they don't have to function really tightly. Like, I don't need them close together in order for them to function well. So take all of those things into consideration before you get started, and then you can just start quilting. Once you have finished all of your quilting, you'll go ahead and give this a nice little iron and then take it to your cutting table to trim it down. Okay, so with this project, like I said at the beginning, you can choose whatever finished size you want it to be. So I have this cut at 9 by 12, but you see we have some kind of rough edges here, which I was planning on. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim off a 1/2 inch on each side. So my lining side looks good. There's nothing too major happening. If you were really off on any of these edges, you would just want to make sure you've trimmed it to the point that none of your interfacing is showing and your exterior and lining are even. So I'm going to go ahead and trim a 1/2 inch off of both sides. Alright, so when I say the right side of your zipper, I'm talking about the side with the teeth in the zipper pull. So we're going to put our zipper and our exterior right sides together, so zipper face down, and we're going to center it on one of our short sides. I'm going to use a zipper foot to attach this, and then use a zigzag stitch to finish off this raw edge, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Once you've sewn this on, you want to go ahead and open it up and make sure that you didn't accidentally sew into your zipper teeth anywhere. So looks like I'm good to go. I'm just going to first zigzag this so that it's finished, and then turn it over and top stitch this edge here so that the raw edges over here never interfere with my zipper. They're sewn back. Alright, that looks good. Now we're just going to repeat that on the other side. I'm just going to fold this over in half. Make sure that these edges and these edges both line up to one another. They're both totally flush. the edge of my zipper tape is along the edge, the raw edge of my fabric as well. So I'm going to go ahead and sew this down. Okay, once both sides of the zipper have been zigzagged and top stitched, you're going to make sure that you still have your lining side out and your zipper unzipped halfway, because we're about to close these two sides and you're going to need a way to turn your bag right side out again. So you really want to make sure that your zipper is halfway open. What you're going to do now is you're going to center, you're going to lay this flat, making sure that the zipper is in the center. When you do the side that has the open end of the zipper, just make sure that you pin it close together. Before you sew these sides closed, you're going to want to decide if you want tabs for some type of holder. So like I said at the beginning, I'm using a D-ring with a little claw clip on the end of it. So I've cut an extra scrap of fabric from my exterior print, and it's 2 by 3 inches. And I'm just going to press it so that my two short sides meet in the middle, and I'm going to press it again right here, so all of my raw edges are hidden. Now what you're going to do is put it inside of your D-ring, and these final raw edges here are going to be clipped inside of these layers. So the way that I want this positioned is I want this on the end that my zipper pull is when it's closed, which will be this end. So I'm going to put it inside, and as you're sewing this shut, you're going to need to make sure that you're paying attention to where your D-ring is so that you don't accidentally sew over it. Make sure that that is centered, and go ahead and stitch it shut. Okay, so here we have this side closed shut with my tab in there. Now I'm just going to stitch this other side shut as well, and then we'll trim off these zipper tabs. Okay, you're almost done. We're just going to cut the excess zipper off. And now we're going to make our boxed corners, which is very simple. All we have to do is mark a square in here. And again, this is one of those measurements you kind of get to make up depending on the size of your bag. So I'm going to make my box corners 1 inch. So I'm gonna mark starting at the seam, not starting at the edge, right here and right here. So I have a 1 inch square there. I'm gonna cut that out, and then I'll show you what we're gonna do next. So go ahead and mark your square on all 4 corners. Once you have all of your corners marked, you're going to go ahead and cut these out. Make sure you don't go past the point, the corner of this box that you've marked. You just want to go right up until it. So I like to do this very carefully and then slowly snip out this corner. All right, go ahead and do that with all 4 corners. To make boxed corners, what you're going to do is you're just going to fold the square that you just cut out so that the fold right here and the seam right here meet, like this. And I like to sew this with this seam open to avoid a lot of bulk. Sew straight across there. We're gonna do that on all 4, and hopefully you can see your box start to take shape. There's our first one. I'm gonna go ahead and repeat this times 4. Once you've sewn all of your box corners, I like to go ahead and zigzag so I can finish these raw edges, and that is our last step. All right, once you turn this right side out, your bag will be complete. I like to hold little sewing notions like Wonder Clips in mine. You could also make a bigger version to carry makeup or art supplies or something like that. So I really like messing around with the sizes of these bags. So just start experimenting, cut up fabric of different sizes and see what size bag you can make. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed my tutorial on how to make this little boxed bag. If you did, make sure that you follow me on Instagram at Just Sew Studio and head over to my YouTube channel, Just Sew, to watch more free content. I'm always coming out with new tutorials, live sew-alongs, live sales, all kinds of fun stuff. So if you are a sewist or a quilter, make sure you give me a follow. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you on a future video. Bye!